Rod Kelly. Rod.
Pressuring defenses are really paying off for you, up by 1 here at the half.
Well, that's the way we played all year long. We played 31 games this way, and it's been effective for us this year so far, and we just hope that we can get a few more turnovers in the second half, and because we got to get some transition buckets. They're awfully big.
One of the key factors, I think, in this ball game is the number of players that you're playing, and that should bode well for you as you go into the fourth quarter.
Well, we hope the depth's going to pay off. They've played 6 or 7 kids primarily, and we've had 8 or 9 in, and I hope we rested everybody a little bit. I hope it pays off, too.
Ball movement and your three-point shooting has really done well for you in this first half.
Well, we're not very big, so we have to be able to shoot outside, get the perimeter shot, and they're coming out on us, and they're taking away a lot of those outside opportunities. And we just hope we can get a couple of buckets outside. It'll open up the inside a little bit. Maybe we'll get some cheap buckets.
What about the size factor that Webster Grove has?
Well, Decker at 7 foot. If we keep him pushed away from the basket, we feel like we got a better opportunity. Parker's been tough inside, too, and they get a lot of trash rebounds on the backside. So we're just going to have to really be a war on the boards and see if we can keep them off the glass.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thanks, Paul.
Back to you, Frank.
All right, Rod, thank you very much. Now let's take a quick look at the Chrysler-Plymouth halftime statistics as West Plains leads it 30-29 at halftime. Field goal percentage, very impressive, Chris.
Well, both teams well over 50%. That is outstanding, especially in a game when you might think the teams might be a bit tight coming out with nerves in the state title game, but they're knocking the shots down. Three-point shooting, 50% for West Plains, better than that for Webster Groves. Free throws are strong. Rebounding, as expected, the big advantage for Webster Groves with the size by 7, but turnovers, 15 turnovers for Webster Groves created by the West Plains pressure.
And here's a look at maybe the player of the first half, Johnny Parker Jr., that behind-the-back dribble, that slicing drive off the glass. He had 11 points in the first half.
Really got Webster Groves off to a good start in the first period, but West Plains got in sync. Here's Harden with the long three-pointer. They do that effectively. He's not the only one who can shoot, and West Plains now in front by 1 at the half as we get set to start the second half of play.
And here's a look inside to Tate Decker. Hasn't had a great game yet, but Tate Decker has done his best work in the second half. Decker has 8 points.
He's a man who can really take over the game in the second half. This young man has been so special all year, putting up big numbers for Webster Groves, the clear leader, the senior of this team. Recently, he had 22 of 24 in the second half in a playoff game. So be ready for a Tate Decker explosion, possibly, here in the second half.
Same starting 5 for both teams. Harden guarded by Taylor. This is Snodgrass. Down low, stolen by Parker. They're going to call him with the foul. Parker reached in on Mark Garner. Let's check the starting 5 for this half. It's Harden, Langston, Garner, Snodgrass, and Judd for West Plains. Snelling, Taylor, Wacker, Parker, and Decker.
Look at that West Plains run to end the half and put themselves in front. They came back from an initial setback and really have showed to be a strong team.
Should mention that was Johnny Parker's 3rd foul, and that could be large before the end of this game. So Harden will be the trigger man. Webster starts in this aggressive man-to-man defense. They can't give these jump shooters a chance to breathe. Eric Judd, kind of a quiet first half, only 1 3-pointer. He walked. He's had a couple of turnovers like that. He's not playing like he normally does.
It's certainly true. He averages 18 points a game to lead this West Plains attack, and they're doing a nice job out defensively. Snelling, a taller player, staying right with him, and really doing a nice job defensively so far.
Dale Bergman told me yesterday that Snelling is 6'6", but with those arms, he plays like he's 6'9".
Bergman, the DeSmet coach, ought to know.
Stolen. Snodgrass will hesitate. Harden won't. Got it.
Well, that's beautiful ball movement again from out top. The pass down to the left baseline. The shooter was wide open and knocked it down. That is West Plains really effective with the ball, and then they try to punish it with the full court press as well.
A foul on West Plains as Johnny Parker tried to go through a couple of players at one time. 33-19, 7:13 to go in the third.
So impressed by that young man, Steve Hunter, the basketball coach at West Plains. He's also the baseball coach. The season starts, Frank. The baseball season starts in a week. I don't think he minds not being ready for that because he's got his team going after a state title as you look at the foul there against West Plains.
And Harden, we should mention, has 3 fouls. So 2 key players with 3 fouls in this basketball game, Harden and Parker. Wacker. Taylor. I think they'd like to see Tate Decker have the ball down low, and he does.
There you go.
Fade away from 8. Got it.
There it is. And look for that to be a recurring theme if possible for Webster in the second half.
And West Plains threw the ball away. They may give the ball back to him, but it looked like Judd was out of bounds, and he threw the ball to Langston, who didn't see it, and the ball went out of bounds. It was the proper call by the officials to give this ball back to Webster.
Well, the officials got together, John Schaefer-Cotter there along with his partner Bill Selby, and that's probably the right call, as you mentioned, looking back at it. And the coaches, Steve Hunter here, will get an explanation on the West Plains bench. Not necessarily sure he agrees with it, but they did the right thing.
33-31. West Plains drops back into a zone defense.
Using that zone defensively to try to keep Webster Groves out, try to help sink in along Decker and keep the Webster Groves offensive attack away from the basket, away from the big guy inside.
Down low, and Decker lost it.
They're a little anxious, I think, turning toward that hoop. He's quick with those moves. Just got a little antsy there, trying to turn baseline side and get to the bucket. He receives the ball in good shape, but just never got it under control as he went to make his move.
Harden hawked by Taylor. A pick and roll. Judd lost it, picked it up.
Set a lot of high screens, this West Plains team, trying to free up shooters on the perimeter right beyond the three-point arc.
Good recovery by Judd, and Harden will set things up again. Snodgrass down low to Garner. Parker said, hit it out.
Johnny on the spot.
Taylor guarded by Judd. Harden knocked it out, Webster ball.
You know, West Plains offensively moving that ball around the horn outside, trying to get guys inside, and they got their matchup really there one-on-one with Garner underneath. But look at Parker come out, good help side defense to block the shot away.
Decker down low to Parker for the dunk. Boy, you talk about showing us everything in a short period of time. A block on one end and a dunk on the other.
And give credit to Decker for the pass. Coach Norm Stewart at Old Missoula liked that, making the extra pass offensively.
Snodgrass back the other way, 35-33 West Plains.
This is just a good high school basketball game, huh? 2 points, 5 minutes to go in the third quarter for a state title.
Out on Webster, West Plains ball. Here's a look at the dunk. Normally, it's Parker giving to Decker, but this time it went the other way.
Turnabout is fair play, and that's why they hook up so well. Unselfish basketball, giving up a 5-footer for a 2-footer, and with Parker, he finishes quite well, so it's not a gamble.
Harden to Garner. This is Judd. Good help and recover there by Johnny Parker Jr. Snodgrass in the lane. Second toss. Dixon missed the three. Chad Dixon has checked into the game, and he missed the three. Snelling. Judd the other way. Only has one bucket today. Looked like he walked. Decker blocked it, though. Didn't matter. I think Judd is definitely affected by his size.
Yeah, and who wouldn't be when you run it into a guy 7 feet tall? I mean, he really alters shots and alters the play offensively of Judd and other opponents he goes up against. Talking about Tate Decker defensively.
Snodgrass stole it. Wacker picked it up, gave it to Decker, and there's going to be a foul. The foul is going to be on Eric Judd. That'll be his first.
West Plains foul. Eric Judd.
Well, this Class 4A championship basketball game will continue after these messages from your local stations.
Monday on News Channel 5's cover story.
The popularity of the internet is growing, and parents are monitoring their children's usage at home. But with more and more schools putting their classrooms online, what can be done to protect students from the seedier side of cyberspace? In the next cover story, News Channel 5's Gene Jackson shows how one St. Louis school district is making sure its classrooms stay clean.
Cover story, Monday at 10 on News Channel 5, where the news comes first.
Helping girls reach their fullest potential while developing into caring and competent women is the mission of the Girl Scout Council of Greater St. Louis. Hello, I'm Dan Gray. This week, Volunteer 5 is looking for someone like you to share your talents with a Girl Scout troop. If you can teach a weekend workshop, help girls learn about career options, or supervise troop outings, Please call the Volunteer 5 hotline.
Volunteer 5, in partnership with Lindenwood College, the leader in success, and SSM Rehabilitation Institute, a member of the St. Louis Healthcare Network.
You're a sports fan, so you gotta have Sports Plus.
He's the great one, and he's talking Blues hockey on Sports Plus.
Brett has made hockey in this town. Brett is the reason that there is an arena here that is brand new. This will always be Brett's town.
When you gotta have the best in sports, you gotta have Mike Bush's Sports Plus. You gotta love it. This Sunday at 10:30, only on News Channel 5. Monday on Show Me St. Louis.
Hi, I'm John Pertzborn.
And I'm Debbie Turner. Are you looking for great spring break activities? Well, the YMCA has something for everyone. Find out how your children can take part.
And your family can tour St. Louis's most popular sites from a whole new angle. See them from the sky.
Plus, did you know ballroom dancing is an Olympic sport? Meet some local teens who hope to one day twirl their way to the gold.
Don't miss Show Me St. Louis, Monday at 3 p.m., only on Channel 5.
Is your car insurance company folding up on you because you've had a few tickets? Are they scrambling your household budget? Are there cracks in their coverage? Or are they just basically falling down on the job? Well then, think young.
Think young, Rodney D. Young.
We can give you a quote right over the phone. Call 353-5773 before things get any worse. Call 353-5773 now.
Well, back at the Hearn Center, the score speaks for itself. It has been nip and tuck the entire way. West Plains leading Webster Groves by 2 points late in the third. You having fun, Frank?
It is certainly a spectacular state championship game. This is Faye Decker, Spencer Taylor, Johnny Parker Jr. The alley-oop to Decker. Beautifully done. Parker can spot Decker very well. 35-35.
That's a regular in the Webster Groves offense. I mean, they hook up so many times with that alley-oop.
Langston, the other end, he missed a three.
Nice job of breaking the West Plains pressure there. They obviously talked at halftime, got Snelling in the middle of the floor.
Oh, what a move by Parker. A left-handed finger roll in rush hour traffic. 37-35, 3:20 to go in the third.
This is the Webster Groves team we've come to know this year. Decker and Parker doing the job.
Chad Dixon gives the Garner down low. Over Decker, and Snodgrass really got up for that tip.
Great effort by David Snodgrass for the putback.
We're tied at 37. Parker, the other end. Looks like he got fouled by Snodgrass. That will be his second.
Boy, what a game we're having here. Take a look at the replay. Parker goes up, and certainly Snodgrass had his arm all over Parker's arm as Johnny went up for the shot. You know, both these teams trying for their first state title. Webster Groves hasn't been in this situation, a championship game, in 27 years. But maybe this is the day they get it with plays like this.
And they've been doing this all season long. We've seen a lot of it in St. Louis this year. Johnny Parker Jr. to Tate Decker. Here's Parker at the free throw line. Hasn't shot the free throws real well, especially in the state playoffs. As I say that, he drains it.
Never fails, does it?
16 points, 38-37.
You know, free throw shooting by and large at the college game is down now, and we're in the 60% range is average, upper 60s. It's really dropped off over the years.
Taylor made a great steal on the other end, but he came out of bounds. So West Plains will have the ball. Let's pitch it to Rod Kelly. Rod.
Frank, Coach Tim Moore from Webster Groves told his ball club to just relax, that they were playing a little bit tight, and he told them not to just pass the ball to get rid of it, to have a little more patience on the offense, and they've done so, and they've come up with this 1-point lead now.
All right, Rod, thanks very much. Judd is back in. Stolen, and Decker the other end. Good hustle by Harden to knock it out, because Decker would have thrown that down, and who knows what that would have done to the Webster Groves momentum.
He'd have thrown it down, and the crowd would have come up off their seats here. Take a look again at the steal. Decker got his hands out, very active, as I mentioned, both ends of the floor. Comes back the other way, but good hustle to get back by West Plains' Lonnie Harden to knock it away.
Not bad mobility for a 6'10 to 7 foot 17 or 18-year-old. Snelling down low to Decker. Little jump hook. No. Tough break there. Judd got the rebound. He threw it off Decker's leg.
Very nice entry pass from out on the right wing to Decker. Really had sealed his man off and had the basket side to himself. And this big guy, watch him, give him a target, Tate, and he does. He gives Snelling the hands up, receives the basketball, goes up strong, can't finish, but most times he'll do just that, put the ball in the hoop.
Judd from 3 over Parker. Air ball. Rebound Decker. Parker. Left hand.
Oh,
wow.
Man, is he not smooth. Woo.
40 to 37 Webster Groves. This is Harden guarded by Taylor. Jeremiah McWilliams. They have to play up on this kid.
Now look how far out the game's extended when West Plains has the ball.
McWilliams drew the foul.
You know, Frank, on a West Plains possession like that last time there, you got 10 players on the court. 6 of them are out between the circles, out beyond the three-point arc.
Here's McWilliams, not athletic, but plenty crafty, and Decker is called for the foul, his third.
Parker and Decker now 3 fouls apiece. There's nothing foul about this play. Look at Johnny Parker get the ball, whirl away from the defender, put a move on, and finish with the left hand. Boy, I tell you, folks watching this guy just have to drool at his ability. I mean, there are going to be a lot of people who would like to see him at their university or college.
We were talking about poor free throw shooting. McWilliams is the opposite, 89%. It is an ugly shot, but it goes in.
It's effective. That's what counts.
40-39 Webster. 1:40 to go now. Snelling thought about it. Snodgrass knocked it out.
Well, these teams are really leaving it on the floor. There's no tomorrow, as they say, and both these squads trying to bring their schools their first state basketball championship. What pride would go with that for years and years to come?
48-year-old Tim Moore, 26 years as a coach. Johnny Parker Jr. in the lane. Good look to Decker. Foul before the shot. The foul's going to be on Eric Judd, I believe. It'll be his second.
You know what's impressing me, Frank, about these two, Parker and Decker in particular? They could be the stars and our stars on the team. It could be the top guy on any team. But look how unselfish they are. And some might even say that was almost too unselfish by Parker in the paint, giving it off on the baseline for Decker. But they really look for each other and help each other be that much more effective as a player.
Harden checks out. Chad Dixon checks in for West Plains. Decker down low. Offensive foul. Nice job of drawing the charge that time by Judd. Tim Moore didn't like the call.
Be interesting to get a look at it again. Decker had gotten good position on the baseline, and then the defender came over to help out defensively against him. I'm sure we'll get a chance to replay here momentarily, and here it is. Is Judd set? Well, he came in there, but might have had the feet planted. It's a bang-bang call, one of the toughest, if not the toughest, to make, Frank.
And suddenly it's a crucial moment in this basketball game because with 1:20 to go, Decker goes to the bench with 4 fouls. Checking in, number 53, David Brader. Chad Dixon now drives the lane. Decker's not there to block it. McWilliams missed it. Brader. Snodgrass got the rebound. Good hustle on the offensive end.
Good look.
Dixon on the baseline. Missed the 3-footer. Jump ball. Webster ball.
Well, again, I admire the grittiness of this West Plains team. They're more than a gritty team. They're just a good, solid, smart basketball team, but they really hustle, go to the boards against the bigger team. Take a look at Chad Dixon here. Goes up in traffic and doesn't get it to go. Then the loose ball fought for a foul against West Plains.
Parker on the baseline. Over Snodgrass. Tried to draw the foul, but got the bucket instead.
That's a tough shot. That's a tough shot for just about anyone. Johnny makes it look nonchalant.
42-39. He came out shooting threes. Now he's going to the hole. 32 seconds to go in the third. McWilliams guarded by Brader. We have a terrific state championship game.
Nice inside.
McWilliams, don't give him that shot. He missed it. Rebound Madden, he missed it. Parker the other end, 15. They're going to call the foul on Judd, and that will be his second foul.
Yeah, reaching in there for the foul, a good call. And we're going a little bit back and forth in this game now. The athleticism and take it to the basket. approach of Johnny Parker, and again in the open floor he's dangerous, and Judd just had to reach in there to stall his path to the hoop, just to slow him down a bit.
12 seconds to go in the quarter. Spencer Taylor with 8. Goes to the hole, hits the bucket. Nice move by Taylor. And that will end the quarter. So a very productive one for the Statesmen from Webster Groves. They lead it 44-39. Webster Groves in control as we head to the fourth. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back after this.
In Murray, Utah, a lot of folks like to work on their cars themselves, and they come to AutoZone because they know they'll find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and helpful people like Rick Perry. Now, Rick's been around cars all his life, so he knows a thing or two about looking up parts and solving problems. And whether it's selling new parts or testing old ones, he's always glad to help. You see, when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
A national research leader, MU is focusing on student success. One way is with learning communities for students who share interests.
Freshman interest groups generally have up to 20 freshman students with similar areas of interest.
I really think that I started out ahead.
They knew each other before they even went to class.
I'd want to study with somebody. All I have to do is go next door and knock on the door. My freshman interest group has made my freshman year a really great year.
It's good, it's fun, and it's friendly. And you learn a lot.
The University of Missouri-Columbia focused on student success.
Dear car owners, if you had a brake problem tomorrow, could you think of one brake specialist to go to? Where can you go for same-day brake service? A guarantee on brake shoes and pads for as long as you own your car. And the expertise of doing over 2 million brake jobs a year? Midas.
Think of us as the brake specialists. We're pretty good at mufflers, too.
Some of the most acclaimed cars in history are now on sale. Save now on all the award-winning cab-forward Chrysler sedans, sporty Cirrus, luxury family sedan Chrysler Concorde, and the elegant Chrysler LHS. Choose low APRs or low lease rates or up to $3,000 cash back. The technology of cab-forward design is now on sale during the Chrysler Award Sale at your Chrysler dealer.
And welcome back to the Hearn Center. 44-39 as we head into the fourth. We mentioned at the outset of the broadcast, Johnny Parker was key to this basketball game. He has certainly risen to the occasion.
He's really gotten involved with a game-high 20 points, and that is athleticism. That's something you just don't teach. That's what he brings to the table in addition to good basketball skills. He really brings a lot.
The basketball game has been brought to you by Midas. The 44-39 as we begin the fourth. Chad Dixon still in the basketball game along with Adam Madden, Jeremiah McWilliams, Eric Judd, and David Snodgrass. Webster with their same starting five except greater trajectory. Snodgrass in the lane, over Brader, missed it. Rebound Snell. 7:40 to go in this game.
Webster starting without Tate Decker, the near 7-footer on the bench here to begin this fourth and final period.
This is Brader. Taylor. Parker wants the ball down low against Judd. He has it. Good look in by Snelling, but Parker just lost it. It was a good pass by Sam Snelling. Let's check in now with Rod Kelly.
Okay, Frank, Coach Hunter addressed defense during that quarter break today and said that Parker's taking over now. They want more pressure on the ball, move their feet, play good, solid defense, and don't foul Parker. He's a good player, but he says he doesn't think those shots will keep falling for him.
Back the other end. This is Judd. Snodgrass guarded by Parker. Down low is McWilliams. Lost it, picked it up. Drives on Snelling. Snelling says, get it out. He had 3 blocks yesterday. Chad Dixon down low to McWilliams. Missed it. Rebound Snelling. He is deceptive, isn't he?
He really is. Sneaky Sam. I mean, he will fool you the way he plays. And that time his feet fooled himself there as he turns it over with the traveling violation in the backcourt. And here you'll see Sam a little bit out of control. Yeah, I think that's a good call. We're hearing some boo birds from the Webster Grove section, but it's hard to argue that, and Coach Moore will acknowledge that when he looks at the tape eventually.
Dixon, down low to McWilliams. Judd in the lane, nice look to Snodgrass. Bump by Parker, no call, give him the bucket.
You know, I really like this Snodgrass. I mean, he is such a heady player. Makes good shots for his teammates, makes good shots for himself with the pump fakes.
Taylor the other end to Parker, lost it. Maybe a foul. The foul on Eric Judd.
You know, Rod Kelly pointed out well what the coaches were saying defensively. Coach Steve Hunter of West Plains, moving your feet and getting in front of Johnny Parker. That all sounds fine and dandy. It's tough to do, though. I mean, we're talking easier said than done, especially in this case when you're trying to slow down number 31 for Webster Grove.
Brent Roberts checks in. Jeremiah McWilliams checks out. Snelling the trigger man. Stolen by Madden, but he stepped on the line.
Well, West Plains just hangs around, Frank, and with their shooting ability, I mean, 3 points is nothing. And as long as they're within single digits in the final minutes, West Plains, believe me, folks, has a chance because they are outstanding from the three-point arc and might even be due in the late stages of this game if they get some good looks at the basket.
Webster has played 6 people. West Plains has played 106.
At least.
Snelling, top of the key, in the air. Rebound Taylor. Spencer Taylor with a smart rebound and an even smarter play to bring it out and set it up. Guarded by Dixon. This is Wacker. Parker has it down low against Roberts. He likes that matchup. Got fouled.
Well, that time, at least West Plains defensively got to Parker. I mean, they certainly identified him and surrounded him, making him put up an awkward shot that hit the side of the backboard. You talk about help defense. They had 3 players surrounding Parker, but then you got to get the ball. 3 guys around him, you've got to put your rear end on him and block him out for the rebound. And Parker's so active, so athletic, got a second chance and gets himself to the free throw line like so many good basketball players, especially scorers, will do.
So Johnny Parker Jr., a 56% free throw shooter, goes to the line. Judd the other way. This is Madden. From 12, no. Rebound, Johnny Parker Jr. Snodgrass tried to draw the charge. Didn't work. Nope. Wacker. Timeout, Webster Groves. Let's check in with Rod Kelly. Rod.
When Johnny Parker Jr. injured his left hand, talked to one of the assistant coaches. He fell to the floor going for a loose ball and injured his left hand. It's nothing severe, but it is hurting him quite a bit.
Well, I don't think it's hurting him too bad. He must be playing in pain because he is doing a marvelous job. There it is right there.
Yeah, from Johnny grimacing, but that won't bother him too much if his team can hold on for the lead, especially the way he's playing. You know, it's been a bit of a rough weekend for Johnny Parker. Yesterday, we mentioned in the semifinal game, he got into early foul trouble, played just 5 minutes in the first half, and they had to be careful how they used him in the second half as well. He also suffered a cut to his eye. Remember, he was out of the game, and they tended to his eye with the cut there, but that's been okay, and he's been able to come back and play just well. You never know, and he's been banged around a bit this weekend because he is putting on a stellar performance. And I think, Frank, not knowing him really as well as you do, certainly from the St. Louis area, but this guy's a competitor. Obviously, he's a performer, and guys like that step up and play. I mean, when the spotlight's on, when it comes down to a state championship game, for crying out loud, they're going to really step forward, and primetime players, if you will, use a much-used term, will step forward and make their move, and Parker is taking center stage here with the spotlight on him. But these West Plains kids hanging tough together as well, not to be outdone or outstaged by any means, down 3 with 5 minutes to go.
And I think Tim Moore has a tough decision to make very soon. When does he bring back Tate Decker? Decker has been the blood and guts of this team down the stretch. 28, 24, 29, 24, and 41 points in the state playoffs. He has simply lifted this team on his back. This is Wacker. Webster can be very patient now. 44, 41, 5:05 to go. Taylor to the hole, missed the layup. Who else but Parker with the loose ball rebound?
They're not accounting for him on the boards, and he's chasing everything down in sight.
Look at this aggressive man-to-man defense. They're going to call Harden with the foul. And that's going to be his 5th foul, I believe.
Well, you said it, aggressive defense trying to create Webster Grove's turnovers. West Plains way out on the basketball, and again, you know, in that situation, Wacker's not a threat to score from that position on the floor, but West Plains, I mean, that's what they do. That's nothing unusual. They get out and pressure the basketball and try to get it back. Unfortunately, one of their players, Harden, fouls out now.
And that's a big blow because he handles the ball about 90% of the time for West Plains. And now checking in will be Justin Langston, a fine player, but more of a three-point shooter. I imagine Judd will take over some of the ball handling responsibilities.
Harden, one of 5 senior starters on the West Plains team. They're a veteran group. They've been together since 7th grade when they were undefeated.
Undefeated as 8th graders and as 9th graders and as 10th graders, and they lost a couple as juniors last year, 25-5.
Not bad, though, is it? Well, that's a tough way for that young man, Harden, to end his ball game, but his team's not out of it by any means. Just down 4 with almost 5 minutes to play.
Some big free throws there by Dan Wacker. 46-41. Judd now at the point. Caught by Snelling. Snodgrass. Over Parker, won't get it to fall. Johnny Parker Jr. is definitely headed for a double-double today. He may already have it.
I was thinking the same thing. I have a feeling he's in that territory already, and we'll try to find out certainly by game's end.
It looks like Judd pushed off a little. That will be his 4th foul.
Well, they're getting in foul trouble now. Watch Webster goes offensively. Look at Johnny Parker. They'll put him in the middle of the floor, right around the free throw line, and get him the basketball. Tight game down the stretch. You've got the lead. Get the ball to Johnny Parker every time down court if possible. It sounds simple, but there's a good reason for it. He's the man now, especially with Decker on the bench. Put him in the middle of the floor, get the ball to him. Good things happen for you.
Now, Brader on the tip, I believe, went over the top. There'll be a foul on him. West Plains ball. Webster with only 3 fouls this half. West Plains with 9.
Tim Moore's got a 5-point lead. You'd never know it. Steve Hunter hanging in there. His team down 5.
All right, this Class 4A championship basketball game will continue after these messages from your local stations.
I love my cars, keeping everything inside running just right. But what about the outside? You got to keep it right, too. How? Easy. You know, the better get Mako guys. They really know how to do it right.
Right now, Mako value is better than ever. Get our great-looking Mako Ambassador finish for one low price, our best value. Right now, only $189. Call Mako today.
You want it done right? Call Mako, America's smart choice.
In 1995, the average monthly payment for a new car was over $400. But we're not your average dealer. At St. Clair Auto Mall, with less money down, we've cut payments in half. For under $200 a month, you can drive one of today's most popular cars. Mazda, Suzuki, Mitsubishi, Hyundai, Subaru. All less than $200 a month. The St. Clair Auto Mall, where getting a new car is only half the fun. The other half is spending the money you saved.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
I was blown away when my dentist told me I had tartar. Doctor, I said, I use regular baking soda toothpaste. My teeth feel clean. Jakey said, it's not enough. Use Tartar Control Crest with baking soda, and your teeth will be cleaner.
You can get the clean feeling of baking soda and proven tartar control from Crest in a toothpaste that prevents tartar better than regular baking soda toothpaste.
So I brushed with Tartar Control Crest with baking soda, and my next visit's great. I finally cleaned up my act.
A smart choice from the dentist's choice.
You know, we get 120,000 phone calls a month.
More and more, homeowners want one loan that does it all.
A lot of them are homeowners with less than perfect credit trying to refinance their homes.
They want to refinance their first mortgage and pay off their high-rate credit cards and auto loans. That's why the Money Store introduced the combo loan. With just one loan, you can refinance your mortgage, pay off your high-rate bills, and usually get some extra cash. The combo loan at the Money Store. Call 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Cover Story 5, only on News Channel 5. When you want to know how new medical advances can save a loved one's life, when you want to know how to invest your money without mortgaging your future, Watch Cover Story 5, weeknights at 10, only on News Channel 5, where the news comes first.
We are back at the Hearn Center. Webster Groves leads it 46-41. With 4 minutes and 10 seconds left of Class 4A basketball. There's a look at Johnny Parker Jr. At that previous timeout. His hand still in a little bit of pain, his left wrist, but he's back on the court now. Langston, down low, McWilliams. For Brett Roberts, he missed it. David Brader had the rebound.
Well, sometimes the ball just doesn't roll your way, does it? I mean, that was a good position offensively. Shot one up, just rolled right off the rim for West Plains. So that trip down court, unlucky for them, but then you can't compound the problem and cause a backcourt foul.
So Brader goes to the free throw line to shoot a one-on-one. Here's a good look at Coach Hunter. Played his high school basketball at Springfield Parkview. Averaged 17 points a game and actually got to the state quarterfinals, but was beaten by the Smet team with Mark Dressler and Steve Stepanovich.
Not a bad duo. You know, West Plains lost only twice so far this season. One of those losses to a team from New Orleans. Their only Missouri loss this year came to Springfield's Kickapoo.
There's a look at Tate Decker, who I think will return to this basketball game very shortly. Brader hit the first. Brader hit the second. 48-41. Judd. Madden. Roberts. Down low is Judd. Tried to dish it off. Parker knocked it away, and Brader picked it up.
Very nice defensive work there, surrounding the basketball. Good help defense by Webster Groves. That's an impossible pass to make through three defenders, as good as the intentions were.
And Tim Moore has said a couple of times here in this last 10 seconds, get the ball to Spencer. They want to be very patient here. Parker from three. I don't know if they wanted that.
Now, Johnny's capable of knocking down three-pointers, but this isn't necessarily the time to be putting them up from out beyond the arc. Get the ball to him, but then you hope the young man, Johnny Parker, will make things happen. There's a look at Spencer Taylor, the point guard, who I really like. He's a nice influence on this ball club.
The foul on Spencer Taylor. Let's check in now with Rod Kelly.
Yeah, Frank, during that last time out, Coach Hunter really imploring Eric Judd to step it up on the offensive end. He's really concerned about his team's lack of scoring against this pressuring defense now being employed by Webster Groves.
They've brought back in another scorer in McWilliams. Over the top. And Langston missed it. Parker got the rebound. Another one for Johnny Jr. 2:45 to go. 48-41. Webster not in a delay game, but they're going to wait for the good shot. Parker has Langston down low. Lost the ball. Picked up by Judd. West Plains the other way. Judd with only one bucket in this game. All-State first team has only scored one bucket in this basketball game. Foul on Spencer Taylor. That will be his third.
Chad Dixon, number 42 for West Plains, gets the basketball inside from Judd. Judd, an off-game shooting and scoring, so he gives it up down low to Dixon. A good look underneath. But you're right, Judd, a first-teamer, averages 18 points per game. He's the leader of this West Plains team, but he's got just 3 points total tonight. And here comes Tate Decker back into the game for Webster Groves to make matters seemingly worse for West Plains at this late point in the game.
Snodgrass. Parker said, get it out. Judd from three. Nope. And the foul is on Tate Decker, and that will be all. Tate Decker tried to get out and contest the three-pointer, but I think he's got to realize with 4 fouls that there can be no contact.
You know, I'm sure they were preached before this game to get out and contest the three-point shot, but you've got to do so wisely in proper situations and in the right timing. With 4 fouls, that's just not the best play in the world for Tate Decker to make. He's a young man. He's learning. He'll learn a lot more in the coming years. He's going to be a great player. But again, as we said with Harden of West Plains, unfortunate for him to have to end the state championship game by fouling out. And that is a situation which he's none too thrilled about, understandably so, on the Webster Groves bench.
48-41. Judd to shoot I believe, 3 free throws. He was fouled behind the line.
Right.
And this is not the guy to foul.
Here's a look at Johnny Parker's block. Frank, excuse me, and I think we're both anxious to talk about this guy and his abilities, and he is really something special. Johnny Parker, just a junior for Webster Groves.
Judd has hit the first 2. He's an 82% free throw shooter. Make it 3 in a row. 48-44, 2:17 to go. Taylor, good pass to Snelling to take it across the timeline. Spencer Taylor has done a nice job here today. Not many turnovers on his end.
A real steadying influence on this ball club. No shot clock in high school basketball, so they can take as much time as they want here entering the final 2 minutes of play.
So Webster Groves was brought to the promised land by Tate Decker. They'll have to win a state championship without him. Taylor got fouled. The foul on Snodgrass. That'll be his 4th.
Well, Spencer Taylor, as you might expect, as a good point guard should, taking this game into his hands in terms of possession of the basketball. Gets down to the baseline, has a good 10-foot try, and draws the foul. Very nice work offensively by Spencer Taylor, the point guard on this Statesman club.
Coach Tim Moore called him the most improved player in this basketball team. That's a good free throw.
You know, he really impressed me in the semifinal victory for Webster Groves yesterday. Offensively scored some points. Today with Parker erupting, Taylor doesn't necessarily have to put the ball in the basket as much as he did yesterday, but he can really be an effective player offensively, and he's doing a nice job down the stretch here today.
Judd, McWilliams. Judd from 3, over Snelling, missed it. Rebound Taylor. He called for a timeout. The referee did not give it to him, and now a jump ball. I thought he should have gotten the time.
It looked like Taylor was trying to get the timeout. Now, it's a tough situation, and perhaps the official just couldn't read that question from Taylor. Let's take a look, and certainly John Schaefer-Cotter, again, an outstanding official, had a great look at it here. And you see Spencer making the timeout signal. Didn't get his wish granted, though.
The possession arrow brings the ball to Webster, and this is Snelling with 1:24 to go. 49-44. Snodgrass on Parker. Johnny Jr. to the hole. He got fouled.
Actually, I think they're just going to say the ball was knocked out of bounds by West Plains, so it'll stay with the Statesman along the baseline.
And it's a good thing it wasn't a foul. That would have been number 5 on Snodgrass. Let's see if he hit him. Looked like he was holding him there. Looked like there should have been a call, but the ball just knocked out of bounds. Snelling in trouble and calls timeout. We're going to keep it here. 49-44, 1:09 to play. Webster Groves has the basketball. Now, this is a time where Webster Groves simply has to set picks for each other, get open, and if the shot's there, you take it. It has to be a perfect shot, probably a layup, but they can control their own destiny up 5 with 1:09 to play.
No doubt about it. 1:09 left. There is no shot clock, as I mentioned, so it's really Webster Groves' ball game from here to the end. It's in their hands, and you know they're going to face pressure from West Plains, but I look for Spencer Taylor to have the ball primarily for Webster Groves. That should be the idea, certainly, for the Statesmen as they come out of this huddle led by Coach Tim Moore there on the sideline. What a game this has been. You know, Webster Groves 28-3, ranked number 1 in the state. West Plains 29-2, ranked number 2. Fitting that it should come down to the final minute of play here in what's been a back-and-forth seesaw close battle throughout this 4A title contest.
And the reason this basketball game is a long way from being over is the fact that Webster Groves is not a great free throw shooting team. In fact, on the season, Webster Groves coming into this Columbia Final Four, 369 they've made, and they've attempted 564.
Yeah, not great. They're roughly 60% from the line. Look at the West Plains stat, 0-2 when scoring under 60 points. First of all, that shows they usually score more than 60 points because they're overall 29-2. So they get past 60, they're unbeaten. Under 60, they don't win. Well, there's no way they're going to be over 60 in regulation, so they're going to have to change that pattern here in the final 1:09 or get it to overtime and then hope.
Parker double-teamed, and they'll call the foul on Chad Dixon. He did the smart thing as a basketball player. When you're double-teamed, you step through it. He drew the foul. So Johnny Jr. goes to the free throw line to shoot two. That's a clinic work bit of basketball. You step through it. Dixon kind of thought he drew the charge, but I thought Parker did the right thing.
You're exactly right. Step right through the double team. There's an opening there, so that's your spot on the floor. The defense hasn't created establishment there in between the two defenders, so that's the opening to go, and Johnny did it, took advantage of it nicely, puts himself at the line, and he makes a free throw, all important at this stage of the ball game.
Tim Moore said before this basketball game, if it's in the 50s or low 60s, we have an excellent chance of winning. If it goes over the mid-60s, we may lose.
Talked about the size and strength, and they want a half-court game. This score reflects that, unlike the helter-skelter quick pace of West Plains pressure.
Parker hit them both. This is McWilliams, guarded by Brader. Langston wants to shoot the three. Great defense, stolen by Parker. To Taylor. Across the timeline. Foul on Langston. Good work on the defensive end by Webster Groves, the switching, and then the steal on Johnny Parker.
Well, it's starting to look good for Webster Groves. Take a look. Johnny Parker fronting his man defensively, beating him to the spot, beating him to the basketball, giving it up to Taylor. Back they go the other way, and a reach-in foul. And it looks good for the Statesmen right now, especially if they continue to knock down free throws. Tate Decker applauding his teammates.
Webster Groves High School has never won a state championship. They're 44 seconds away from their first. And Taylor hits his first. Look at that bench. Johnny Parker Jr. said yesterday, I've dreamed of winning a state title since I was in the 6th grade. Dreams do come true.
He's just a junior. He could end up leading his group back here again next season.
53-44, 42 seconds to go. Judd's going to have to let it fly. Great D by Schnelling. Rebound Parker. Lost it. Stolen by Judd. He has Langston. Langston wants to spot up from three. Good defense by Taylor. He shot it anyway. Off of Dixon's foot. Webster ball. They can feel it.
Well, tough game for that young man, Eric Judd. I do feel for him. He's had a great season, had a great semifinal game. But give credit to Snelling in particular and the Webster Groves defense doing a nicer job putting the taller player Snelling on him defensively.
15 seconds to go. Parker guarded by Langston. Parker fouled on Langston. Parker goes to the free throw line to shoot a 1-and-1.
Well, the Webster Groves Statesmen in a state of euphoria at this point in time as we wind down the final 10 seconds. Thomas Roberts, the assistant coach who had a great college career here in Columbia at Columbia College, joining in the fun with his players. And of course, the other end of the spectrum, I've always thought, Frank, it's as high as the high is of winning a state title, it's that much tougher to lose a game like that because you're so close to it. And it's Heartbreak Hotel indeed for West Plains. It's really a tough way to end a year because they're not used to losing. But oh, the wide range of emotions from one end of the court to the other between West Plains and Webster Groves. Two terrific ball clubs. 1 and 2 in the state. Webster Groves and West Plains coming in. That's how they look to finish. 1 and 2 with Webster Groves on top.
Eric Judd checks out. It's the end of a great career. He will definitely be named All-State this season. He led the team in scoring, rebound, and assist. He did not have a great state final. Johnny Parker did. And listen to the applause when Johnny Parker Jr. checks out of this basketball game. Well, he may not.
He doesn't want to leave. He's having too much fun out there.
Webster Groves has won a state championship. They've been around for 125 years, and they've now won their first state title. Enjoy the moment. There's a look at Tim Moore. He is 48 years old. He has spent his entire life coaching basketball, 26 years, and today he has won a state championship. There's the dynamic duo, Johnny Parker Jr. and Tate Decker. I hope that was Tim Moore's wife.
Well, I was thinking the same thing, but I wasn't going to volunteer any statements. I'll let you do that. But regardless, kissing is allowed at this point in time. If not today, when? I mean, that's just outstanding for a likable man, Tim Moore. And, of course, at the other end, hats off to Steve Hunter and West Plains. What a year they had. I mean, just a terrific, terrific game. We couldn't have asked for much more, could we, coming in?
It was spectacular. The final, Webster 53, West Plains 46. We will take a short break, and we will be right back after this. The Missouri State High School Class 4A Championship basketball game has been brought to you by Midas. The Midas way, the way it should be. By AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers, home of the minivan store. And by Coca-Cola, proud to be associated with the Missouri State High School Activities Association.
Plymouth's clever idea department has been on a roll lately. The next challenge? Come up with clever ways to save. Now get a great lease on the redesigned Plymouth Voyager. Choose your savings on Plymouth Neon, or even get this tantalizing introductory price on the all-new Plymouth Breeze. Oh, and they even named the event. Aren't they clever?
Dear car owners, if you had a brake problem tomorrow, could you think of one brake specialist to go to? Where can you go for same-day brake service? A guarantee on brake shoes and pads for as long as you own your car. And the expertise of doing over 2 million brake jobs a year? Midas.
Think of us as the brake specialists. We're pretty good at mufflers, too.
At AutoZone, we carry filters for just about every car on the road. And we've got most every kind of oil you could ever need. More than 10 brands and 30 weights. But no matter which oil you choose to put in your car, you gotta do something with the old stuff. So just bring your used oil back to us. We'll take care of it for you. You see, helping you recycle, that's just one more reason why there's no place better than AutoZone.
Oh, you know, folks, to consolidate these bills, nothing beats a Boatman's home equity line. You can apply by phone and turn all these dumb bills into, you know, something better. Like this handy B29 bill.
A national research leader, MU is focusing on student success. One way is with learning communities for students who share interests.
Freshman interest groups generally have up to 20 freshman students with similar areas of interest.
I really think that I started out ahead.
They knew each other before they even went to class.
If I'd want to study with somebody, all I have to do is go next door and knock on the door. My freshman interest group has made my freshman year a really great year.
It's good, it's fun, and it's friendly. And you learn a lot.
The University of Missouri-Columbia, focused on student success.
Folks, if you're tired of writing zillions of checks every month, get a Boatman's home equity line and consolidate. It's usually tax deductible, and you can even apply by phone. And I know there's a phone here somewhere. Wait, that isn't my hand. You know whose hand this is?
It's coming to Columbia, August 9th. The Wake Up to Missouri Hot Air Balloon Championships, the nation's premier ballooning event. The Balloon Nationals will feature the country's top 100 balloon pilots, a special shapes rodeo, daily mass ascensions, carnival rides, a craft fair, exhibits, and kids' activities. Don't miss these gentle giants of the sky. The Wake Up to Missouri Hot Air Balloon Championships, August 9th through 16th at the Boone County Fairgrounds in Columbia.
And welcome back to the Hearn Center, where Webster Groves has won their first ever state championship, 53-46. Rod Kelly is standing by with two very happy gentlemen. Rod.
We've got Tim Moore, the head coach of Webster Groves, and coach, congratulations on your state championship.
Thank you very much, Rod.
Great ball game. The guy next to us here, Johnny Parker Jr., really took over in the second half especially.
He did a great job, especially on the boards, defensive end. He just got every rebound at the end of the game and played great defense and made some big free throws and buckets for us, and it was a great win.
Did you get a little tense when Tate Decker fouled out?
I got a little tense the whole time the game was on, so I can't say I was tense just then, but we were playing pretty well without Tate in the game and controlling the ball, so I thought we were in pretty good shape, and I thought when he went back in, we might have a big advantage, but he only lasted a few seconds, so the advantage wasn't very long.
Let's go over to Johnny Parker. Johnny, state championship, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Talk about the play today. Was it rough out there?
Oh, yeah, it was real rough inside, and I kind of hurt my hand, so it was pretty hard there.
Talk about your hand injury. It didn't really affect you too much. You still played a lot.
Oh, yeah, it was hurting, but like I said, I couldn't really shoot the ball, so I was on the defensive end. I was getting a lot of rebounds. So.
Defensive and the rebounds, I thought, was a big factor in this game.
Oh, yeah, like I said, I couldn't shoot, so when Tate was out, so I had to stay inside a lot and get a lot of rebounds.
You're only a junior. I guess the best part about this is you're coming back next year, huh?
Oh, yeah, I hope we have a strong lineup like we did hit this year.
It's Johnny Parker and Tim Moore. Congratulations for another state championship for you. The first one for Webster Grove.
Yeah, not another one, the first one. Thank you very much. All right, Rod, thank you very much. And what a terrific basketball game we saw here, Chris Trevino. A spectacular display by Webster Groves. They came up with the big buckets when they really needed it.
They really did. It was a tight game, and you look at the final score, 7 points, but Frank, we both know, and the viewers know, really it was a much closer game than the 7-point final margin would indicate. Webster Groves with one of their great players, Tate Decker, out in foul trouble for much of the second half, turned to junior Johnny Parker, who really stepped forward, and Johnny Parker is indeed deserving of our honor of player of the game.
There's no question. As we speculated, he was headed for a double-double, 22 points and 11 rebounds. He was our key to the basketball game at the outset, and Johnny Parker Jr. really stepped up. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back at the Hearn Center right after this.